you've got a problem. Singapore made its great strides in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when the rest of Asia was, as we touched on earlier, many of its countries were under terrible misrule, misgovernment. Their economies were shot to pieces. And you guys, because you were extraordinarily efficiently governed, could make great competitive strides. It's a bit different now. Asia's full of tearaway growth economies. Obviously there's China, but there are many others too. Suddenly, the idea of Singapore being the great tearaway success of Asia in relation to all the others isn't so true. And maybe foreign investment, for example, might begin to think, you know what, Singapore's gone as far as it can go. There are other places we could put our money and see it bear fruit better than Singapore in the future. Are you worried about that?
Well, Singapore wouldn't be where it is today if it didn't have to compete very hard against formidable competitors. They weren't always in Asia, they weren't always in the immediate neighborhood, but it's always been about competition. And that's how we've moved up from one level, from highly labor-intensive, low-skill, low-wage production, to what is now basically high-skill, high-wage enterprise. And it's a constant race. But don't forget the intangibles. Don't forget the intangibles. There's some advantage in being constant, in keeping to your promise, sticking to the contract, and building confidence amongst every investor that in 20 years' time and 30 years' time, the rules are not going to change.
And being constant, does that mean that Lee Kuan Yew's family will always be in charge?
No, I think that'll be most unusual. It's a meritocracy. It'll be most unusual if that was the case. Certainly, it's not the way in which, I can't speak on behalf of them, but it's not the way most Singaporeans would expect it to be. And certainly, you really wouldn't want it to be a situation like, if you look at...
I thought you were about to say the United States, where it's either the Bushes or the Clintons.
So let me, to be frank, if you look at parliamentarians below the age of 30 in India, every single one of them is a member of a political dynasty. Every single one of them. So we believe in meritocracy. It's hard work, it's sometimes imperfect. There are always advantage in family connections and wealth, but we've got to keep working against that.